we're going to hop right into it just about immediately when you go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Got a goopy cat.
Wildly uninteresting podcast. Episode number 152. Welcome back to the show. I am Adam, your host. It's Sarah, your host,
Ian.
and it's Ian, your host. We appreciate you joining us again for another podcast.
You're welcome
we
back.
Hope you appreciated Danner's episode and all of his glory, his cult leader essence.
We
Not
call
cult
it glory.
glory.
I hate that asshole. I'm glad he's not on this episode.
Oh, he should be on every episode.
Every fucking episode.
You think we get Danner to replace Ian?
I think in a
I'm just
heartbeat.
kidding.
No.
Please don't leave.
He might.
Don't go.
It'd be hard to find somebody that would work for free.
Probably raise the level of conversation.
Maybe. I think eventually, you know what shocks me? When we first started this, we were like, well, we're going to do it every week, which we've tried to keep up with. Sometimes we take a break. And then you think we eventually run out of things to talk about or get tired of each other or argue more often or whatever. But now
All of that has happened except the arguing.
Yeah. And that's debatable. What kind of argument are we?
I feel like the only
about?
thing we ever argue would be the homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess so.
see, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that
Because I hate
arguing.
him.
I hate them. No, but it's been over 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we started, way back in the day. 3 years ago.
I'm
way
sure we
back.
could argue about abortion.
Oh, yeah, you could
I
definitely.
saw that you guys went to the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I was just poking people on social media.
Poking them.
it's upset. I told her, I was like, what sucks is by the time we got down there, it was towards the end of it, and then people started straggling out and off and going home. And I told her, I was like, why don't they protest after 5 when people get off work? That would be beneficial for those that need they want to be a part of it, but can't because they get off late, And then, but I guess if you're protesting something like that and you feel very hurt by what happened, you're going to protest all day and take off from work because to hell with work, when you're protesting.
I think, too, that, you can't accommodate for everybody's schedule. So you just protest, and if you can show up, you show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you were trying to coordinate.
You just hope there's enough to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
I gotta go home. You gotta carry the torch, Robin.
Yeah.
Call Karen, get her down here.
It's like pixel binning with people.
She's stuck in Victoria's Secret yelling at the management there.
That's
Do you have pixel bending?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pixel binning with them.
Well, I
Just
thought-
copy the person next to them.
Yes.
Make it look like the movie 300. But it was beautiful to see an amount of people that were willing to get out there and protest. When in reality, I don't think any of us were truly 100%. Okay, I'm not putting the two on the same pedestal. Trust me, I'm not. So out here they had a couple farms go up for sale, right? So the county, what they did was they put these signs, these zoning signs. They were like, these are rezoned. The place that the meeting was held was not secret, but it was hard to find, the information on which building to actually go to, which government building to go to. The time was very vague. The times were changed on some of them.
How is it vague though?
Where it's not posted up front. You really have to dig in and go and find what time the meeting. They're not this meeting's at this time. You got to go find that courthouse when they're in, when they view those type of cases. You got to really dig in.
It's there, but it's tucked away.
Yeah, yeah, between
I thought
the
it was
lines. Though.
The meeting is around lunch.
Between 5 and 9.
Yeah, never.
Maybe.
That's so they do that, and then there was a vast amount of people out here that were to hell with this. Nobody wanted it. No, it's seemingly nobody wanted it except for the farm owners that their kids wouldn't take over their farms, right? So they rezoned these, and then they sold it off to these out-of-state investment companies that are just coming here and they're going to dump just a bunch of houses in this place and add and not fucking do anything to the roads and everything. Just it's a terrible idea to do, right? So same with this. I feel like that the decision had already been made far before the decision in Washington was made, right, with the Supreme Court. I mean, immediately when they said, yep, it was overturned, all these states went illegal, which I think we weren't given the opportunity to truly take a one-for-one vote on how people really felt. Because if so, I don't think it would be that. Maybe.
I don't think so.
In these states, maybe.
I don't think it would be. Because, I mean, I know we're a conservative state, but I feel like most women, which this could be wrong, I've never looked into it, I feel like most women want the option. Right. Whether you'll actually ever use it, but you should have that be your choice. And
I'm inclined to agree with you and disagree with you for the same reason. So with the the Supreme Court, there are 6 dudes, 3 chicks.
Mm-hmm.
The vote,
it was 6-3.
Yeah, but to make it better, there was a woman who was part of the 6.
Yeah.
So not all women want it.
Right.
But 2 out of 3 did. So there it is. Most women.
I don't have my.
So.
That's all right.
But I don't know. I saw a thing that irritated the shit out of me because it's like it was ripping on the Supreme Court for being like a male-run woman haters club or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, but one of the people that voted against women's rights for that was a woman. So to say, oh, the white man is taking over, forget the fact that there's a black dude, but the white man is taking over and all women are being, I don't know, whatever. But a woman voted against it, so it's not as clear cut as people think.
The problem with like generalized statements, because I mean, most of the government are white men, but not everybody is a white man. So
if the majority is of that,
you can blame the white man all you want, but it's more than that.
I think and it goes back to what we said, right? So there's an awful lot of women that I know personally, and I'm sure that everybody else knows personally.
I don't know any women.
That not even your wife. That suffer in silence, right? So what they do is it's almost sort of like they've been taught a certain way since they've been raised. A lot of them are seen, not heard. A lot of them don't give their opinion and fight back to the male that's in charge, if you will. I'm not saying these statements like I feel like I'm in charge. I'm saying that in a lot of cases, women, kind of suffer in silence. They don't have a voice. They don't,
it's really
go
helpful
against.
to suffer in silence. You change a lot that way. Stupid fucking women.
No, but they, they suffer in silence, so they go along to get along. So I think even some will go along even though they don't agree completely. And the woman that I would like to know if the woman was like a practicing Christian, because a lot of this decision and many decisions lately have been based from a Christian belief, a moral Christian belief. And that's unfair when our Constitution states that we are not to hold religion and state together, right? So no mention of God is in the Constitution.
That's not what it says.
The Constitution doesn't mention God at all.
Exactly. The Thomas Jefferson crap where he's talking about the separation of church and state, that was just a personal letter.
Right.
Now, what the actual documentation says is that the state shall, they'll not set a state religion.
Right.
That's it.
Like a blanket over the state. This is what we are.
Yeah, here, welcome to, it's like with America, like we won't even say that English is the national language.
Right.
So we're not going to have a national religion. We're not going to have a national language. But you can be a Christian all you want and legislate according to your beliefs.
Right.
And it just irritates the shit out of me when people are like, we need to separate church and state, and you can't make any decisions based on Christian belief because and it's like, good luck taking somebody's beliefs out of them.
Wouldn't it be wrong, though, if the nation as a whole say that we're a Christian nation? What you're saying is if they put a blanket statement on the nation, in a whole, then that is inherently wrong.
And yeah, that's a violation.
right.
But
the
individuals voting based on their religious beliefs is fine.
It's fine.
I mean, you can disagree with those beliefs, and
And that's where voting them out or trying to push them out of their seat is where that legal part comes in, right?
yes.
So that's the only way to fight back to a person that you feel is based off just that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well, and you have to wait. The Supreme Court, they have 8-year like stints, so you
Ugh.
can't vote them out. You gotta wait 8 fucking
8
years.
years.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
The Supreme
No.
Court, is it not 8 years?
No, Supreme Court's lifetime.
Get
Once
out
you're
of here.
on, you're on.
Which
Get
one's
the
8
fuck out of
years?
here.
There is nothing.
Yes, there
'Cause
is.
senators are
is
2,
it not-
and I think congressmen are 4.
Is it not
President's
strange
for.
that we have like this fucking meeting of like the Supreme Court it's like the end all. Like they make the decision that is handed down. Like that's just so weird. I'm cool with laws and shit like that. I'm cool with like not killing each other, not raping each other, not whatever.
Right?
But I'm not cool with a group of people that I don't even know one of their names. Deciding all and I don't care to know their names
Learn
because
their fucking names.
no, I shouldn't have
Ignorance
to learn.
is no way out of anything.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
whether
not.
he
I'm
knows their names or not, it doesn't change the
right
fact that it's
that
bullshit.
I can't do any. Even if I knew their
know.
name, I wouldn't be able
Were
to
you
push
mad
them
about the
out.
Supreme Court 10 years ago?
Yeah, because I think that as far as voting goes, when people vote, it's not one vote counts. Whatever, like the Supreme Court has the foundation. Oh no, that's wrong. I spoke that wrong.
Collect yourself.
Yeah, it's the Electoral College that does that, right? But still, in the same sense, like I'm not cool with somebody or a group of people making any decision for me, and I can't do anything. I've always been a firm believer in not being able to be free in a free nation, or a free nation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm with you on that. If America is the land of the free, then we should have freedom to do whatever the hell we want, provided it doesn't screw other people over. But we also have to look at the situation the way it is.
Yeah.
And another thing that irritates me is, it's like, okay, yeah, feel your feelings and stuff, but complaining about a Supreme Court decision on social media like it's going to do something is fucking stupid.
Correct. No.
Give
Oh,
Sarah some
shit.
juice. What a terrible time to silence
I
the
know.
woman.
Yeah, typical. I agree, it is stupid, but that's what people use social media for.
I mean, stop that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
we
would-
made. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I would hope that they're doing something other than that. It is bullshit. Like if that's the only thing you're doing, that's stupid. Do something else.
We made the same exact argument for people, QAnon, even people on every social fight that we've had. You can't just go and it does a little bit. And if you have a large following and trying to group those people together and trying to make a change, that's beneficial. But for people to go on there and then just rant and say you want things to change and then, go back to everyday life when you get off the computer and shit or off your
Right.
phone, that's absurd and ridiculous to complain you're not going to do anything. So why even add hate to the system when you just leave it to people who are actually going to move on what they believe
Yeah.
or what they feel,
It really does nothing except cause problems. It just creates a bunch of hate amongst the people. I mean, we don't
And
need that.
You could even make the argument that if you complain about things that legislators put forth,
Yeah.
you might make a difference in the people that vote, or you might be friends with this person, and they'll see your shit and they're like, oh, okay, but
Right.
Supreme Court, there are 9 people.
Yeah.
They make their decision, and that's that.
Final. Yeah.
It's
Or
not like-
Well,
apparently
apparently
it's not. Yeah.
That's
It should
no,
be
but-
that.
Yeah, it should be, but I think that okay, on that same basis, I think that things should be reviewed. So okay, we had to review Roe v. Wade, right? And then they made a different decision, right? That should technically happen. Not saying in this case, and I'm not stating any of my beliefs here because I don't, you know what I mean?
God forbid you put your beliefs out there.
No, I'm just not. I'm not gonna like push. I'm not gonna push that forth. What I'm saying is that if I make a law in the 1900, like early 1900, 1901, right?
Right.
You need to review that shit in 2020. You know what I mean? You at least go back, review it, see if it was done correctly, see if you know what I mean? Because a lot of shit happened.
20 years old, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Luckily, when DNA came back and they could test and all that, they went back and tested and they freed a lot of people. Still, a lot more people to free, but it's making a difference because they went back, reviewed it. Oh shit, these don't match. Whatever. Same thing, right? I don't think you should have these like forever because times change.
Yeah.
Same with like Christianity. You need to change. You need to figure out like that shit was wrote a long time ago. Figure out a way to, you know what I mean? Time change. And you telling me after all these years,
Here we go.
aside from homeless people and shit, right? That God has not talked to one other prophet. Nobody's come along and said, you know what, I hear Jesus. I mean, God.
Yeah, they're locked up at fucking
That's
Central
what I'm saying,
State.
yeah. You're like, oh, that dude's fucking crazy. But you get what I'm saying? Like, it just this one period of time that happened, all of these hundreds of years later, nothing, not a word, not a peep, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
You gotta be kidding me.
He's
right?
like sleeping.
Well, I mean, that implies, though, that there would be some objective way to say that God actually did or didn't talk to those people. He could have talked to any one of us at any point. And we just think,
we weren't listening.
it wasn't him. Yeah. 'Cause, I mean,
It
yeah.
was the breeze. When Jerry is a loser and the whisper in the wind.
I'm just going to assume from now on, every time I like hear something, oh, it's God. Absolutely. Yep. That's what that is.
Damn it. Yeah, that's but it's unfortunate though that I think too though we're there's people in it I'm gonna say the correct way to do this, but there's a lot of people who have had an entitled run, right? An entitled fucking go, and now that it disrupts them, and when things start to show that hey, they have like precedence over you as well. Now you have a lot more people fighting. They don't understand, why the Supreme Court went. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just now they're angry. Now they're like, at a fight that people have been fighting for years at this point. And you before didn't understand. Now you do. I guess we need that. You have to have that awakening for people. But I've never thought that we were free. It's not like the facade doesn't trick me. I know we're
Right.
not.
Yeah.
Right.
I think a lot of people who have been previously entitled to a good life now see like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
they can
that's
make decisions and we can't do anything about it.
no.
It's still annoying because, I mean, just because there's not a federal protection of it now doesn't mean it's illegal in certain states.
Right.
Which, I mean, there have been wars fought over the idea of states' rights. And people want to downplay that and say, no, they just wanted to enslave people. And that may have been part of it. But if you take yourself out of it and you just look at it, it was a states' rights issue.
Yeah.
We want to be able to say, oh, we could do this, we could do that. Certain states have legal weed,
Right.
but still federally, it's not cool.
Can we agree on the fact that it's bullshit that it's illegal to have an abortion in Kentucky if you get raped or are a victim of incest?
Yeah,
That's
we can agree on
ridiculous.
that, but we can also agree that, I think maybe, we'll see.
Uh-oh.
We can also agree that states have the ability to say, we're not going to be that kind of state.
Yep.
Right.
If you get raped, you have our condolences, but you're not getting an abortion here.
It's absurd.
And while that is a dick move, stop living in a state like that.
Which is you say that shit all the time. It's so
I was waiting for it.
unrealistic.
Why?
Have you
It's
ever
unpleasant.
No, have you ever met someone who lives in poverty? Which, by the way,
I don't
is
know,
the
maybe.
majority of who this will impact.
Right?
Have you ever met someone who literally does not have enough money to pay all their bills and feed their children or feed themselves?
Okay, yes, I've met them.
Okay, do you think that they can be like, fuck it, I'm going to move to Missouri or wherever the fuck it's legal?
Missouri.
Well,
Missouri.
I mean, Illinois is the closest state.
Thank you.
But Yes, they can.
Absolutely
No,
not.
if you just think about it like this. This is how I look at it. If they're already so terribly off that they can't afford to feed themselves or their kids and they live in squalor, what is so special that you're leaving behind?
It's not a matter of leaving something behind. It's a matter of how are they going to get there? How are they going to get like a new place to live? You have to have down payments and all that shit. You have to pay stuff to be able to get a new place. You don't just get to move in.
Right?
Well,
but no,
yeah.
well, okay. So then let's say we live here. Okay? And
Do we?
somebody wants to move to Illinois. Okay? Even if they're living in squalor, are there not ways of moving to like cheap housing?
That I don't know. I've never dealt with cheap housing. I would say though, most likely if it's anything like Kentucky, there's like a 2 or 3 year wait list.
Right?
So, babies are born in 10 months.
Right.
But I think, and otherwise, like I know that there's some that are making it illegal to travel across state lines to get it and then come back. So I do get the argument for
That
sure
will be
on both
ridiculous.
sides. That yeah, for sure. Like, and if you're so bad off and you're so far off, definitely like leave this shit behind, right? Or figure out if you're living in squalor here, you can live in squalor on the road getting to there,
Right.
wherever there is. But I do
Assuming
get
you
that.
have a vehicle.
But it is extremely well. There's other forms of transportation that are fairly, accessible, ish. But anyways, beyond the point, I think that I think that especially like people in poverty, they've been taught that I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry. But they've been taught. I mean, they've been conditioned to believe that this is all you can do. This is all you can say. Like, it's very hard to get out of a poverty mindset. It's very hard to get out of, like. So even if it is possible, because that like people saying that you can't get a job after prison, and I know that's not right, right? But the mindset
is very hard.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Right.
It's definitely.
Yeah.
But the
Look at you
mindset.
being empathetic.
Yeah, well, I'm empathetic in the same way towards chicks that get raped and can't have an abortion in their state. To the extent, it's not impossible to get a job. It's not impossible to put yourself in a position to where you can live as you would like. But it's going to be hard.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the point of the government is not to make your life easy. It's to improve it in some ways, and then in other ways just completely fuck you. But as an autonomous person, and you can make choices, I assume that's what autonomous
Yeah.
means.
Yes.
But if you can make your choices, then sometimes you're in a position to where your choices are going to be very hard to bring to fruition.
Right.
And if complaining isn't going to fix it, you have two options. Stay where you are and be fucked, or struggle and make it better.
Yeah.
And when people
I can
don't
see
choose to do that, they can fuck off. I have sympathy. But fix it or fuck off.
Well, I'm not going to argue about this because, yeah.
That's but I go back to that point though. It is extremely hard. Even like jumping out of a company that, because we've all been taught that you work for somebody, you get a job, 401k, try to fucking retire at 62, whatever. So getting out of that hamster wheel of job to job or career or working up the ladder and shit like that. Even like those small things that we don't believe affect us, or we don't believe that we've been conditioned to, is huge. A lot of us don't leave jobs because the economy's bad, so there's probably not another job out there for me and my skills and this and that. And then you talk about education, and then where you are socio-politically. Is that the
Yeah.
I wanted to say it right? And then that's if you were born into it, they've done the studies. The likelihood of you getting out of that situation are very, very slim. But I think it's more because of the generational trauma that followed, or that preceded
Yes.
you being born. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? So I get it both sides, because I'm the same. Like I had two options: either fucking go and put application everywhere and fight for a job, or go back to drugs and breaking into houses and shit like that. Luckily, I chose the latter. But
Yeah.
or
Former.
the former.
You chose the good one.
Yeah.
But no, I get that for
You
sure.
said oops.
Yeah, oops. Giving it away over here. No, there's but those modes of thinking are that's truly rough, man. But it does seem impossible, but it's not. It's definitely not impossible. But it is very hard, very very hard. I'll say that.
I'm also not convinced that it is a state's issue.
Why not?
Because you're literally taking rights away from people who it's regarding their body. It's not, I want to smoke weed. Well, that's actually, I
that's
agree with
still
that one too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of my thing. It's like people don't fight that passionately about that, and
Yeah.
that's still body. So then it makes me
That's
think
because you
it's
can just go buy weed anywhere.
well, you can go to Mexico.
You can go to Canada.
Yeah.
No, look though, and I hear it loud and clear, right? For sure that the issue is that. And I got to thinking about it. The ones that do not base their decision on Christianity or religion or their moral standpoint, right? When it boils down to it, those people, I can see their point of view, is that heart is beating, that thing is alive, whether it's out talking and has consciousness yet that we don't understand, whatever. Their thing is, and this is why they make that decision, and I'm sure a lot of them, they don't make this decision lightly. Some of them, for sure, they do, but is that they view it the same as somebody walking up and stabbing you in the neck and killing you because they see it as murder. So if the rape and the incest and all that shit, for sure, like we're just gonna have to take a hit. I mean, you euthanize people in prison for like killing a family and shit, right? Well, they raped me and my body.
You literally kill people for killing people. Get the fuck out of here.
And
that's absurd.
So I believe that their standpoint is that, like they feel like that is that is murder, and I get that, but it does come down to being a sovereign human being, and you didn't want it. You didn't ask to be raped. You didn't ask to be fucked by your uncle and shit like that. And now you have a baby that you definitely can't take care of. Now, and then the people who argue that, we got a fucking welfare state, go get a job, this and that, right? The more women that are financially unstable and cannot take care of their child that they would otherwise abort are going to add to the problem that you are fighting currently.
Yeah.
The same fight, but whatever. I mean, I get both arguments. I can't make a for sure standpoint. I don't agree or disagree. I'm open to hear everybody's fucking
I disagree
thing.
100%. You can suck my dick.
I disagree about the incest and the rape, but what I think that it shouldn't be like a blanketed illegal. I think that after a certain time when we can like see his fingers, fingernails and stuff like that, I think that we should really fucking really think about like don't kill that thing because it's kind of a baby now.
Abortion is fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not. I think
yeah.
there was only like one state where that was a thing.
Yeah.
It was New York, I think, is where it was. You could get up
we
to
got
like,
too many people. I don't care when it is.
I think you could get it up to like 28 weeks or something like that.
I think
Which is insane. That's a baby. It could be born and live.
What a lot of people do is they fucking make decisions based off their emotions and opinions in the here and now, right? Like right here, right now, this is how I fucking feel about it, right? But I think that your decisions are not black and white. They affect more than you can see. And all you see is that, the kid, the wife, you want to control whatever the fuck they do, right? But you don't recognize the effect that having that baby and putting it in society and then multiplying that by 1,000, million, whatever, is going to have a huge impact on society and, people and crime. And I only say that just based on, the statistics of the women who do have abortions, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? So you can't base your any decision on the here and now, how you feel, religiously or fucking, what do your morals and stuff like that. You really have to fucking weigh those options. Put them on a board, pro and con it at least.
Excuse me. Don't
But-
you think it's a little bit fucked up though that if I get pregnant by accident, that I no longer have control of my body because there's something growing inside of it? I mean, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like now you're property of the state.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a
No, I mean,
prison
I've said it many times. I'm pro-abortion. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit.
It's fucking absurd.
But it's a more complicated issue than just, it's
Yeah,
my
definitely.
body.
It is a huge issue.
It
'Cause
is
it-
a huge issue.
Because,
But
I mean,
really big.
yes, it's your body, but then there's a life growing in it.
I know, it's so weird, right?
And
when we put
in
it
the
those terms.
cases of like rape and
I'm an
incest,
incubator.
I mean, I could see it either way. But, you know, it's like if you get raped by an uncle, that's pretty traumatic anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously, I'm for, yeah, fine, abort that shit. Who cares? Then murder the uncle. That's
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be awesome.
But how much more traumatic is it, really, to have the kid and then put it up for adoption?
That's, yeah, I know.
I mean, it's going to be more traumatic because then you have to live with the 9 months. But if you don't have the kid, are you then just fine?
But then you're just throwing another baby into the fucking system that doesn't need to be there.
Well, that's where
Right.
the situation gets more than black and white. I
Right.
think.
Yeah,
that's
that's why-
where it starts
yeah.
to affect it.
But
yeah.
again, I mean, that's part of why I'm for it, like aborting it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people want to make the argument that it's so traumatic. How much less traumatic is it to abort it than to carry it to term and then let somebody else take care of it?
Adoption.
I think
Yeah.
honestly with that, it would depend on the situation because, you know, putting your kid up for adoption can be very traumatic. I mean, it's literally growing inside of you for 9 months. You feel it move all the time, and then you're like, all right, bye. But if it's your uncle's, you know,
Exactly.
but
So
you
if-
still,
if it's your uncle's, you're not going to have that. And if
Right.
you have that, then you can raise the kid because it wasn't that traumatic anyway.
it would be terrible.
It would be horrible.
Yeah, I don't think no.
That's, no, but yeah, that's yeah. I think a lot of us agree and disagree. I think Sarah is firmly on the no. I don't agree and disagree in
I'd like
that
to
way.
burn the fucking whole building
Yeah,
down.
I don't think that Kentucky
With
should
them
have
inside of it.
made the absolute decision to like just illegal. Fuck you, right? And they shouldn't have had it in the chamber waiting. You know what I mean? That's a little fuck. Yeah, when you have in the chamber
Yeah.
waiting and the legislation is already like wrote out in plain like that's crazy to make a decision like that. But maybe they've been thinking about it for 50
But I
years.
mean,
Yeah, they have been.
I don't like it in the sense that it's like, okay, it should have been a done issue. We've lived with it for this long.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you look at it from the perspective of the conservatives, everybody that has an abortion is killing a baby.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, I could see where you would want to leave it up to the states.
Right.
To where it's like, okay, look, you people in the South, yeah, that's fine. It's baby killing. You guys don't have to have it. And I think that's a big part of it, to where it's saying to the states, you don't have to allow this if it goes against your moral code.
Right.
Because then if we take the alternative, well, an alternative, and instead of saying, oh, the conservatives say it's baby killing, what if we take the idea of murder and we look at it from like a nihilistic atheist perspective? And some people are like, murdering people is unethical and it should be illegal. But then you have the people that are like, well, if we're all just dust, then it doesn't matter who you kill because there is no afterlife. And when you're dead, you're dead. Death is an inevitability. Who gives a shit who dies or when? So then we could leave it up to the extreme left, I guess, in that case. The atheistic nihilists are like, it doesn't matter. Murder should be legal.
Yeah,
And then the
it's
people that are
chaos.
rallying against it would be the humanists and the religious people. And then would we be so quick to shut down the religious people in that context?
Yes. Because I hate them.
What about?
Your face was awesome.
Like, what?
I think too. sense that nobody can be moderate. You don't even have to be a left or right moderate. You don't have to be center moderate. Just moderate. Moderate in the sense that you listen to everybody's point of view. You take in the information. You don't impose your opinions or ideals on somebody else. You just have an open and free conversation with each other, right? You know, it baffles me that the people that some of my friends or acquaintances, I'll say, and some of the people that I work for and some of the people I meet in a day, how extreme their views do get, and how hurtful it is to other people with no regard. They don't care that it's, they don't view those people as humans like themselves, like individuals. Like they have an individual story. They have to deal with the human condition just like you, all your struggles and stuff, or all your non-struggles.
I'm
all
the
your
only one that matters.
Yeah. And it's rough for people to do that, especially when you've been taught, like, you're so special and you're so, we got it made, and then, be scared of black people, and then, whatever. Like, it's just baffling to me that we choose these sides. And you know what that does? It creates this unbalance of constant bickering and arguing on both sides. In reality, if we all got together and were moderate enough to say, hey, fuck the two-party system, fuck the Supreme Court, let's just not have it. Like, don't play into the system. Don't buy into their shit. Don't be a fucking consumer. Fuck everything. Then you'd get somewhere. But until people wise up and get off their fence or get off their side of the fence, stop being dead set in their views and shit. Until then, we're gonna die. Like we're headed for fucking a collapse of world power, that world power being us. We're headed for it. There's no way off this track unless everybody stopped arguing with each other.
I say bring it on.
It's definitely it's pretty much here. It's
actually, I take that back.
They announced that we were actually our foot's in the door for or going into this next recession. Like it's called at this point that. And we don't know how bad it's going to get, but we know we're in it. And it's just a matter of time before, housing collapses and businesses and all this stuff. Did you see where Elon Musk and Coinbase, they issued these fucking emails to people that they headhunted from other companies. Some were overseas, and they made them get visas to come over and work for them. And then they were like, "Oh, we don't need you," because they were cutting out jobs that weren't important. All the the white collar positions were accounting and shit, HR, and so these people got here with a promise of this nice job, and now the company was like, fuck you, we're not even gonna help you get back to your things, and now they're gonna get deported and shit.
Well, it's a free trip.
Yeah, it was a fun ride. They and a lot of people left companies that they had been working for a while with that. I was like, if that's not a fucking crack shit, but it goes to show you those two companies are Tesla and Coinbase, huge companies in the industry, right?
Yeah,
we're in a recession. Believe that. We're fucking there.
I don't know. JP Morgan says there's only a 35% chance of a recession.
Oh yeah,
What?
you trust JP Morgan?
When did you?
I don't know. I just figure he's got his finger on the pulse of
How long ago did you listen to that? How long ago?
Earlier today.
Oh shit. I was saying, because the one I saw, he was like, there's a storm coming. It's going to be a hurricane for the United States.
Yeah, so he's just saying whatever people want to hear, depending on who he's talking to.
Yeah,
it might have been a part of the same.
Look at this quote. I was right. Look at this quote. I was also right.
That way he's in the green no matter what.
Told ya.
But then with the idea of the the housing market and stuff, what if it's just leveling off? Because, I mean, the stock market, it was just riding high and people were throwing money at everything.
Yeah.
You could just be some jackass picking anything and you'd see a return. And now that's not happening.
Right.
It's more of a bear market now. So the housing market, instead of everybody just throwing all kinds of money at everything to inflate the prices, people are finally starting to see, they're like, oh, wait a minute. This house isn't worth that much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait on that, and then it's just going to level off instead of like, it's like having a glass of wine instead of drinking a whole bottle. Because like what you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm rising, I'm getting drunker, this is euphoria. Oh, there's a downturn.
Fuck.
But if you have a glass of wine every day, then you're just like, oh yeah, all right,
bit at a time.
I'm even, I'm level, this is cool. So
a lot of the people that win big are the people that drink the one glass a day.
yeah, well,
be
it's going to
honest.
get to that. I mean, it's not, it's like people are
possible.
panicking because they don't really understand the basic structure of it.
Maybe they're panicking
Definitely.
because people have watched the ebbs and flows and have said, this is exactly what has happened every other time it's crashed.
Well, that could very well be the case.
I think
I never considered that, though. Could be.
Within the like a world power being in charge, right? The problem is that those ebbs and flows happen within the time period of that world power. The thing that is scaring everybody is that it's predicted that we are on the right track for an overturn of world power. So if you mix a recession in with the overthrow of the United States, then you have something sort of like the Great Depression, only like greater, because there's going to be a very dark time.
Yeah.
And people are, and imagine this beautiful world when these two-party fucks, they're sitting in a riding high on the right and left, and they're like, fuck the right, and they're like, fuck the left. And then a world power comes in and was like, nope, we got your ass. You are our asset. There is no two-party system. Fucking bow down, right? Then they're going to be like, but what about democracy? What about conservatism? What about my belief? Whatever. They're going to whine and cry.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you do from there. You kill
I'd
yourself.
say the only world power that's in a position to do that would be China.
Japan would be too, right?
No.
Or no, Russia.
No.
You don't think so?
No. There was a time, but not now.
Right now, I would say
Russia's
China
clearly
for sure.
showing weakness.
Yeah.
And
Put everything into this war and they're losing it.
Yo,
Yeah.
Well,
that's
not
what
necessarily the war, but
they are
just their
fucking-
shit.
they were predicted to fucking like it would last no time. They should have it should have been done like this. It should have took over
Yeah,
Ukraine.
again,
they're
the
like,
fact
we don't
that
have the resources for this.
that was kind of a thought where it's like they're clearly a superpower taking on a smaller country.
Yeah.
It should be over in a matter of no time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that either Russia's weak and Ukraine is stronger than we thought, or it's all just part of the global plan and it's staged.
Could be.
Yeah.
Shit.
So
Look at you.
What
Either
would be the
way.
point of staging it? I mean, I'm not saying it's not. It's,
higher gas prices.
so profit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
profit and fear. Because I mean, it's like, under Trump could have talked to what's his face, Putin, on his way out. He's like, look, they hated me. They were afraid of me having the red button, but there was no war under my presidency.
Yeah.
I need you to fuck some shit up now that Biden's in office.
Yes.
Show that the left is the party of war.
Damn, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's rough. Like you know what? I can't wait until Biden isn't president anymore, so they can get off this dude's back. Honestly, like I'm all for jokes and fun, right? I got made fun of a lot in elementary, like a lot, way more than a lot of people I know, right? And I got beat up a lot. I feel like Biden's going through that now. Like he didn't get beat up in his young age, but he did in his older. Kind of a Benjamin Button deal, but like his feelings.
Yeah.
So fucking get off his back, man. He's old as shit. He fucking like won the fucking count because the other guy was terrible, and everybody just wanted him out. Fucking let him finish his goddamn 2 years. I'm not saying anything he's doing is good. I'm not saying he's making great decisions. I'm not saying he's clear-headed. I'm not saying he can ride a bike well, but fucking leave the guy alone, dude. But I guess people didn't give up on Trump. They fucking make fun of his skin, and South Park did a fucking thing with him looking crazy and shit. So, I mean, whatever. I guess you take on the position.
You never stop giving people a reason to stop talking about them, though.
Biden doesn't either, though, man. He trips a lot. And they said, what is it, Gerald
He
Ford?
can't walk. Fucking tear them apart.
Well,
Was it-
Yeah. What the fuck is a dude like that doing in a position like the presidency?
We want
Why?
to.
Because he trips every once in a while?
If a
All the
motherfucker
time.
can't walk, he can't run a country.
I can't walk. I couldn't run a country
He
either.
couldn't
but-
run a country. I got you. We want a big
Puns.
fucking steroided ass fucking like 7 foot fucking that wears a vest all the time with bullets around it, just fucking ripped veins popping out. Like, you want some China?
Are you familiar with the Liver King?
No.
Omen got me on this dude. He's pretty fucking awesome. There might have been Benji. I'm pretty sure it was Omen though. Either way, Liver King. He like wears a cowboy hat. And he has a fierce beard, and he never wears a shirt.
Oh,
And-
yes. Okay,
Oh, yeah. Have
Oh, that
him
should-
as president,
Just vote for him.
That's
dude.
him.
God,
That's
he's
the
got
one
all
we were
these
talking about.
chains on his shoulders. Just around his
Primals
neck like
want
a
to know.
scarf.
My God, how do I eat? You know. Hell yeah.
He's like the ghost of Christmas Now.
Yes.
That's
awesome.
that's who we need, man. I think people would shut the fuck up because they'd be too afraid that the dude like crush them, you know?
Yeah. I feel like we'd have the people that are like strongly against people that work out, you know, like the nerds of the world. Like they have a chip on their shoulder because of the jocks.
Yeah.
They'd come out in
Oh,
droves
yeah,
against
dude.
this guy.
Dressed
We
in
got to hack
black.
his Instagram.
Damn it.
That'd be awesome.
I urge you not to watch the shooting that happened at the Tops in Buffalo, New York. It was this guy, an extremely racist guy. That was.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
It's fucking, dude. I'm telling you. Look, I've seen a lot of that. I even back in the day, back when the shit was like Faces of Death and stuff, and I saw this fucking guy cut another guy's head. I mean, like getting stuck on the bone and everything. I don't know why I continued. I was like, oh god, felt different after, right? But that video, it just, I think people are separated when they watch it too, right? Because a lot of times I go forth and see death. I didn't want to see this. When I was looking at the news story, it popped up.
Yeah.
The terrible thing about it is that the way the guy shot it, the angles, the everything, it looked like a video game to me.
Yeah, it's very first person shootery.
Very. And I didn't realize while it was going on up until, he got in the store and shit. I'm like, this is a fucking like real thing. And to think that there are small children that were watching it thinking it was a game or something, and then realizing how fucking real it was. I'm telling you, I'm still fucked up about it. I mean, I'm not gonna like break down and fucking cry about it, but I'm just saying that it's truly this. I mean,
Might
like,
get us more listeners.
where does, I told Sarah, so there's people like a certain somebody in Congress that I just want to blow my fist through.
Cam Newton.
No,
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Oh, okay.
And I want to blow him up because he looks like a cheese-eating rat fuck. I hate him.
I like
I
cheese.
hate the guy.
But yeah, I feel you.
There's blow through, right? But I can't, even that guy, right? And there's some people I hate even more than that. And I can never fathom the amount of hate it takes
Yeah.
to fucking mow people over. And then, like, just bypass a certain type of person that has white skin and be like, no, you're good. And then go on to keep killing.
I know that kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's like, oh, no, you're good.
What the fuck? But
It's-
I mean, it fits with his mode.
Oh, I know, man.
Yeah.
It was tough to like fathom the amount of hate and anger. But then they said it was exacerbated, and people knew already from 8chan, right? 8chan knew about it. He was posting this shit. 8chan was souping him up. It's a
Yeah.
place that a lot of white supremacists continue to go. You know what I mean? What?
I haven't taken any notes. I don't have a notebook.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh
I got it.
man, that's true.
Don't worry about it.
I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
But
Something's missing, but I don't know what it is.
But they, like 8chan, and they knew prior to it, and he released the manifesto. Oh, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
No, I got it. I'll do it while I'm editing. But released a manifesto and
Now what do you do?
back to the sunglasses.
All right. So yeah, the manifesto.
Yeah, on 8chan, and 8chan has been called out for quite a while now for being a gathering place for white supremacists, and they amp each other up. They put out memes. They talk about this great replacement of these white guys, specifically white males. But there's a lot of white females that join in with that too. But it's I just can't fathom. I don't know where hate like that comes. I don't know where that's birthed from, but it's rough. What? You want to take notes so bad?
I do. I'll grab
Get
it.
to it.
And I was going. Okay. All right.
Ignorance, man. Shit's rampant.
Yeah. Look, I have a notebook over there I was going to grab. You just wouldn't allow me to grab it.
She's just this cat post-it thing.
Like the cat.
Yeah. It's like the biggest post-it thing ever.
I wish. Hang on. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I don't know which one it is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's magnetic.
Ooh.
It's awesome. It's very cool.
While Adam's doing that,
Yeah.
I had this thought the other day where, with the continuing of the divide among the American people,
Yeah.
and then the idea of the Roe v. Wade stuff, further dividing people,
Yeah.
and bringing it to the idea to where it's like, oh, it's a states' rights thing. What if politicians are doing all this stuff to get everybody amped up to exist more as individual states than, like, more so than as a country? Because it's like, if we don't have a national identity and people are so frequently existing within echo chambers, and like the idea of the algorithm, like, here, you're a liberal, this is what you get. You're conservative, this is what you get. So then they want to just section us off.
Yeah.
It'll be a clear divide of like, here, this is a red state. This is a blue state. We're going to operate on these laws here, these laws here. Pick your place. And what if it's all just a move to get people to stop trying to be so much like the melting pot on a state level, like on a state level. And it's just like, bam, here we have a country full of all kinds of people and ideologies. Go live where you agree with people.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what if that ended up helping?
It might.
Cool.
You never know what might help. Yeah. The thought I had, because your mind kind of runs like, why make these decisions like this, and why overturn it, why spend the time on it, right?
Right.
And here's what I thought after listening to Jordan Peterson and quite a few other public figures talk about how we are at the peak of our population that's going to be on this earth. Now we're in a downturn. Not only that, but places like China, Japan are going through this really rough patch, along with us.
Right.
That most modern countries are older countries by the age of the people that live there. So they're having a harder time paying for the older people with the young people's labor. It's kind of what happens in a modern society. It gets older over time. And then if you have a lot more people that aren't like having children and all that shit. And what if they overturn it because they're like, well, look, if we get rid of abortion, at least we get those children that otherwise would be dead. And we just need those assets, because if not, we're going to, go down even faster.
See, I hadn't thought of it in those terms, but I like that. I tend to just look at it like Christian America taking on the Muslims that won't stop having kids. Like, we need more Americans, so you can't abort them. But with the idea of propping up the aging community, that definitely seems like some boomer shit.
Right. They're like, well, we have to have people that take care of us, that build the buildings, that make the shit run while we are on vacation and shit.
Who's going to pay for my Salisbury steaks and keep killing babies?
TV dinners. But, dude, for sure, I got to thinking, I'm like, because when is your government ever give a fuck about how the fuck you feel about, your shit, right? Never. They don't care. You're an asset. She's an asset. I'm an asset. When they talk about to like other countries, and you borrow money, and you have a dollar that's worth a certain amount and shit like that, the only thing that you have to fall back on are the resources that your nation can bring, along with the labor that your nation can do, which means each person on this planet is an asset to a certain nation. Just like when Amazon were shopping around for a state to build their factory in, right? Each state, where like they were fighting hand over fist to get them. They were fighting hand over fist to get them because if you have hundreds or thousands of people that work at a certain place for a company, they pay the taxes, so the corporation doesn't, the state doesn't. They take care of it off of their wages. They take that money from those people. So, of course, they're going to fight for that. Well, Amazon looks at those people as assets until they hurt their foot or they get too old or whatever. Now they're a liability and they get rid of them. So we have too many liabilities. I'm not saying I agree with these statements, but we have too many liabilities in America. So they were like, we got to find a way to do it. We can't like just inseminate women because, you know, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but
Yeah, come on.
yeah, they're just like throwing semen balloons everywhere. Yeah.
Semen balloons. Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be a terrible.
She's ovulating. Get her.
Don't act like they would know what ovulation is.
Yeah.
That's what I got to
I can
thinking.
smell it on her.
Then I also had a thought the other day. I was jerking off, and I was like, one day this could be illegal. Me coming in a toilet.
Yeah.
Me dropping my load on the floor.
It could be, but it won't be for men. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, we're pretty much protected, huh?
Yeah, you're good.
Damn.
Man, I guess along those lines, if I just want to feed the fire, I don't know. Casper was telling me about shit like with selling the house and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like she, because of the state or something, like she couldn't buy a house without my consent or like without my co-signing or something because we're married.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Like women can't do that shit.
Right.
Dudes
When you're
can.
married,
He
yeah.
did have to co-sign, yeah.
I had a co-sign on that one, yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't know why you had to sign it until right this very second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I didn't write the rule.
I don't know if somebody else knows, please tell us. But I don't know if I go to buy something or whatever, if I need a cosign from the wife.
Absolutely not.
Well, you can't say absolutely.
I feel like we would need it too, because like I cracked the joke about, well, that would make it really hard to start a secret family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not positive, but I think dudes have to have the same
have to
thing.
do it, yeah. Because it's just like a marriage, the union thing.
Yeah. Couch, you know everything, so please tell us, because I bet you don't. I would bet you $100.
Ooh.
Oh man, I wish I had
No, she
$100 to lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I'm poor right now. God damn it!
I really want this bet.
Let's just bet a Kit Kat.
Ooh.
Fine.
Yeah. I can lose that.
But,
Do you want to bet something?
Oh no.
$100?
No.
Hand job.
$2?
All of that.
$2.
Sounds great.
$2 hand job and a Kit Kat.
Little Kit Kat.
It's a complicated bet.
Yes, it is. I have
There's
to
many
write that
levels.
one down.
Many levels. A lot of side bets going on.
Why has there not been like a political movement of women basically doing anything as a united front?
Because we've been fucking happy for a while.
Well, kind of happy.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part. I mean,
Okay, so then that would imply that the abortion stuff is the only thing that would really get women riled.
I'm not going to speak for all women because there's definitely some more fucked up shit that happens.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, telling me I can't have an abortion makes me want to do some shit that shouldn't be said.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so then do you think we'll see a movement towards that?
I
Of
would
like
say
women
so.
uniting and
Yeah.
being like, yeah, okay, we're done voting for men.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can see that for sure.
Have you ever read about the women's suffrage movement, and then like how women got together for that, and then back when they were what is it called when they make like drinking illegal? What's that again? It starts with an A.
Oh man, no, it's prohibition.
Prohibition.
Yeah.
It starts with an A. Where
Abortion.
Am I at? Yeah.
Well, the A is silent.
But like when women weren't allowed to work and women weren't allowed to vote and women and these women got together on the front and they actually made substantial change, right? And the lady that was like with them, I don't know, she did something with an axe or some shit. I forget her name though. So if anybody knows that, that'd be great.
The idea of of fighting against not being able to work just feels silly. Like if dudes couldn't work, I'd be like, yes.
We'd be like,
Yeah,
"Yep,
but
you're
you
right."
haven't
I've
been told your
arrived.
whole life you can't do anything except cook and clean for your husband.
I'd be so happy with that.
Not if that's all you've ever done and you wanted to do more, you would not be happy with it.
I'd feel a little empty inside.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Sorry. It was, I'm going to say this. It was Carrie Nation.
Ask Sally.
Carrie Nation.
Ask Sally.
Yeah. Carrie Nation.
And ask Sally.
But, yeah, okay. So the suffrage movement, also women stopped wearing restrictive something. I don't know. Anyways, but
They
you get what I'm
burn
saying.
bras.
They didn't actually burn bras.
What did they burn?
They didn't burn anything. They just
Man.
took
What
the
the
bras
hell?
off.
Why wouldn't they burn them?
Wasn't
They
there like
needed them
no
later.
bras? Wasn't there like no bras that were ever burned?
Yeah,
Like, that's
there
just, like, a
were
thing?
none that are like on record. I'm sure some woman burned her bra.
Don't you burn
for
that
sure.
pile, Carol?
What'd you call
need that
the
bra
girl with
back.
the axe?
Ask Sally.
Oh, no. Her real name was Amelia Moore Nation. So close. It was a hatchet too, none of that. I guess it depends on what you call it. It was a hatchet. Like a hatchet man, but hatchet woman.
Hatchet Sally's a better name than Ask Sally.
Yeah.
It flows a little bit.
Because that just
better.
sounds like a hood rat, like advice call.
Go ask Sally. Yeah.
You're right. But anyway, they did a lot, but there was a lot. See, the bad thing is there was a lot before them, right? Some that
Yeah.
were overshadowed by certain movements, and they didn't get it done, first, second, or third time. You know what I mean? It took quite a while because they were held down to a strong degree. I guess is that the right term?
I'd accept that, yeah.
And so they finally made change, but it takes so much. And something that I've noticed with like BLM and then them, they fight to a certain point, and then whether they feel like they have won or not, it starts to trickle off. You have people that lose interest, people lose interest. They got to go back to work. They got to go back to life, whatever. And then they dwindle them down. So it's like the state's just waiting them out, and you see that happen with all these movements. And that's why I think that if we could band together and fight them together without battling one another, we could make change within that. Like, because united would never, they wouldn't stop you. Whatever you wanted, you could get if you would unite with one another, based on solely like them being a human. You know what I mean?
The quality of leadership and like dedication that it would take.
Oh, I don't think it exists.
It's going to be like a 1 in a trillion person that's
Yeah.
going to take that shit up.
Yep.
In Iceland, I don't remember what year it was, but they had like Women's Day off, and it was like 25% of the population just didn't, all women of course, like didn't go to work, didn't cook or clean for their husbands, didn't have sex, they didn't do any of it, and
That's a good way to do it.
there were companies couldn't open.
Yeah.
Husbands had to call off of work because they're like, oh, I have to take care of this fucking child because
Right.
nobody is here to do it. Like, it like fucks some shit up. Like, that's what we should do. We need to fucking go on strike, and
Yeah.
we need to not spend any money. We need to not do. I'll cook for you because I love you. But I mean,
Right.
other
Just
than
don't
that,
broadcast it.
yeah, don't air this. No, and you've done nothing but be supportive. You haven't done anything wrong.
You should
But
film
that's
like
what-
a promo,
sure.
like wrestling style, against Adam. Like, fuck you, I ain't cooking shit.
Yeah.
And like as soon as you cut, you're like, all right, you need anything?
You want a steak?
But I've always said that about anything that you want in general. If all people would do that, they would stop buying, stop consuming, stop going to work, stop paying the taxes, stop paying everything. It would get uncomfortable quick. I said this on the one podcast. They treat you like a prisoner. They fucking cut off your water, then your electric, then your whatever, and just try to like wait you out. But if you were willing to go through the suffering for it, even willing to die for it,
Yeah.
you could make change that it would be irreversible, right? And you could teach your children that we won. We can move from a place of generational trauma to generational
Prosperity.
prosperity.
Success.
Rampantness.
Woo.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if we could put our fucking opinions aside, our religion aside, and just fight for these common goals, it wouldn't trickle off like I've seen with all these movements that happen. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, okay, like BLM. I feel like the small changes that were made, and I'm only talking about here in Louisville, where like they cut the budgetary spending for LMPD that year. They did all these things, right? It seemed like they were just placating the people that were protesting, right? Next year, they dumped for the budgetary spending for LMPD. They got the year prior to dropping it. They got what they got that year, plus the stuff that was taken away from the year prior to that. So during the Black Lives Matter movement. So not only did they bump their spending the next year, but they added what they lost the year previously. Yeah, and nobody said, nobody's protesting anymore. Nobody's doing anything because it has calmed down. People think they won. They don't check on it. Yeah. These people are fucking it's just, that's what they do. They placate us until we fucking disperse.
You really do have to have like one central group that does all the behind the scenes shit, the checking on stuff and working with whoever to actually get the real stuff done. And then those people have to put it out on social media to get the crowds of people who protest. Like, because the people who protest are literally just showing up. Like they're not, it's not like everyone's working behind the scenes. I mean, there's probably a few groups, but I imagine it would be a lot. I'll be that person. I'm furious.
It's just it
different
sucks,
level
like
angry.
If you want to take down a system run by people that do that shit for a living,
yes,
you have to have somebody that's charismatic and organized and will do that for a living.
Yeah.
And then you have to have the people, instead of getting comfortable with Netflix and phone games, you can, I'm willing to dedicate the next 7 years of my life, if not more, to the singular cause and maybe die in the process.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, I have kids. I have mouths to feed.
Exactly.
Shit, I'm down.
I don't want to,
exactly.
So.
I think my only issue, because I'm legitimately down, I would die for this issue, absolutely.
Good God.
But I can feel it internally. I just don't understand like the whole process, like what I would have to do. Like, so that would be very frustrating to me, like learning all that. I could, but it would be super frustrating. I've been reading about it ever since, so I'm trying, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah, like the thing that's annoying is like, you're like, okay, am I going to dedicate the majority of my time and efforts to this thing to maybe change?
Right.
Or am I just going to find a way to work around it and get comfortable personally?
Right.
Yep. So most people choose to do.
But the, like all the crap on Facebook, people reposting the same shit or whatever, it's like, get past it. But somebody posted a thing, it was like, it spoke to me. So it was like, we need to voice our anger, we need to feel our shit because we just had freedom's taken away.
Yeah.
And we need to have a transition period to where we get to like process this. That's like, okay.
Hell yeah.
The death of a freedom.
It's like that I can live
Yeah.
with.
Mourn it.
That, that's my language.
Thoughtful, straight to the point.
Yeah. And it was the only time I saw it, so.
Yeah, right?
It was like, I'm tired of this thought. It was like, that's new.
That's
Hell
new.
yes.
Yeah.
It's original. You're right, though. A lot of people will choose to just find a way around it, get comfortable in that situation, because we fucking hate discomfort, bro. But it's and that's what I was saying about, like, now it's hurting people who have previously been entitled to a certain degree. And that's when things are going to start getting, like, rough. Motherfuckers are going to, like start shooting, I guess. I don't know. Is when you start, like, affecting white males, white females, and then go down the list. Like, I'm not saying I'm so entitled or whatever. I'm just saying that
you're a ginger, you don't.
I know I don't even.
Life's been hard.
But historically speaking, white males have been at the top of the list, and then white females have been protected on that list and treated, substantially less than white males.
Yeah, because
and
we're
then
white.
so on and so forth. It goes down this ladder.
I mean, for real.
Once that reaches the top of that ladder, people are going to start getting fucking mad, and it's going to be weird around here. You know, here's one. It's been hard to get like baby formula and shit, right? It's been a huge fucking deal. That affects, you know, everybody. Yeah. That is an all-encompassing thing. And and the government seemingly, they denied not a bailout of sorts, but help in that regard to get formula out there, right? For these people that were like, oh, protect the kids. Their kids are being like targeted in a sense, you know what I mean? For no help.
But I mean, the formula stuff is private enterprise.
Right.
So how can the government be held responsible?
Well, to help. I get what you're saying. Yeah, responsible.
Yeah.
I think they're looking for like employees and people to distribute, but that's what capitalism gets you. It gets you a bunch of these, you know, companies that handle things, right? And when we were in this state of employment shortage and all that shit, well, the 5 companies you put in charge of distributing all this, they collapse. Nobody can distribute it. So there's an issue with the system that you've created within capitalism.
Well, I mean, the way I see it is there are 2 options. You can either leave the baby formula stuff to the private market, or it's government run.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me never, if there's an issue with the people and it's got nothing to do with the government, they should never help. There's babies dying because there's no fucking food. They shouldn't put their hand in there and just help a little bit.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
That's exactly what you said.
I'm saying it's either private or it's government.
No, that's what he's saying. It's either
it's private, but you don't think that the government should help in some situations?
Well, what can they do?
I don't know. They're the fucking government. They do what the fuck they do. They passed some shit to help get more baby formula. They did something.
Oh, no. They denied. They didn't pass it.
I thought they did. It was just a bunch of Republicans didn't want it to happen, but they passed it anyway.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think they passed it. But I'll look into that and fact check it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they passed anything to help. I'm not sure.
I was under the impression that the formula companies were not passing like approval for like the quality of their stuff because like there was metal and shit in it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Exactly. And because of their negligence, we have this shortage.
Right.
And even if the government wanted to step in and do something, they can't produce all this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
if
in the
that's
long
the
game,
problem, okay. But it's absurd to say that they shouldn't do something if they can help just because it's not their problem.
if they can, that's fine. I'm just thinking as the overall structure. Like if you look at the educational system, we have public schools and we have private schools.
Yeah.
Private schools tend to be better. Mm-hmm. The public schools run by the government are not that great.
Right.
Health stuff. It's government run. It's like, it'll get you through the day, but it's not as good as privately run stuff.
Right.
And people tend to think that the government is grossly incompetent. Mm-hmm. Therefore, I personally would rather have things like formula in the hands of the economy, like the private market.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's I think so instead of I guess offering the whatever that bill was coming through, it like goes back to I would have to read the rest of this, but it was like a government's widely used nutritional program, and I guess what it states within that, and then they couldn't, and the shortage came from a shutdown of one Michigan plant because unfortunately there's there's 2 companies that serve close to 90% of all the formula released to
that doesn't seem like the best thing to do.
Same with the
failure
5
of the
companies,
market.
Tyson being one of them. You only had 5 distribution companies that handled meat, getting meat out to the stores and shit, right? So a bunch of these farmers had to kill off cattle because they had nobody to distribute it because these companies were suffering from whatever
the shit
whatever the fucking COVID-19 and shit. So we see a big flaw in the system when you hand over a lot of your infrastructure to these private companies. This is what you get when you have a monopoly on it. 5 companies have a monopoly on the shit. in certain sectors. This is what you get. 2 companies handling 90%. Ain't that a little fucked up?
Yeah.
You need some local people doing some local shit, but like they want, it's a comfort thing. WIC has been taking care of them. They've been distributing these fucking baby formula, and then when it fails and you're uncomfortable, you see where the flaw is.
Wouldn't it make more sense to have like one meat plant in every state? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Not even a
we've
meat
got-
plant, but distribution company in
Yes.
each state. Yeah, oh, yeah.
yeah. Why would they do it that way? That's so stupid.
I think
What if there's
Well, I think it's
some
because,
natural disaster and it takes it out, so everyone's fucked?
Well, I mean, I with your idea, it's like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It makes absolute sense.
Like we have 2.
But then from a cost to profit thing, the larger the organization, generally the less you're going to spend on each individual unit.
Right.
And therefore, it makes more sense economically to focus it into one thing.
That's still stupid. Couldn't they just
Of course
open
it's
other
stupid.
ones?
they could. It's just that I think that having one in each state, like you said, that, I'm sure people have thought about that and tried, but like you said, there's not enough profit to be gained from that to continue to operate a place. And now you have people that are demanding more pay. So it makes it even harder to move forward in a profit-driven capitalist society.
But then, like everything else, it just kind of falls back to the idea of greed is ruining things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
I totally believe that. I think that greed is definitely the root cause here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like if instead of going grocery shopping for Casper and myself, I'm like, I want this stack of books.
Right?
She'll live.
Should find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of structural integrity we need for a country. I want a boat.
I want a boat. That's how they said when it comes down to it, with these bigger companies like Tesla and shit, when interest rates were 0.01%, whatever it was, a lot of these companies had massive growth within their company because they were taking out these huge loans over speculation of what their company could be. They were taking out these huge loans and then getting all these employees and making moves or whatever. They knew a year and a half ago that we were headed for an economic downturn quickly, right? And did nothing to stop taking out loans, stop doing it, So that greed, that moving forward of sorts, instead of just like staying like, let's figure out where we can come from here, you run into a lot of issues. You run into thousands of people losing their job for no reason. You didn't, you shouldn't have hired them in the first place. Off of speculation and loans, you shouldn't have hired them.
In the sense of like a village mentality, I agree with you completely. But from a business standpoint,
Yeah, that's what
it's all about the profit. So, I mean, that could be a good move for them on their books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more than likely, yeah. That's what it comes down to is the fucking...
Doesn't excuse it, but it explains it.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's the likelihood that as a country, we're just going to agree, we need to have everybody's best interest in mind?
0.
Exactly.
Zero.
Yeah.
And you like, I'm seeing...
1.
I'm a firm believer of
Hope is
seeing
never
it,
dead.
seeing it from every angle and taking away something from every angle. Every time I talk about that and when they fuck people over, well, here's the thing. Because people say, well, you don't have to make big business, stuff like this. Well, if you want to make change, you have to make big business. These are all like conflicting things that unfortunately you have to do within that industry, right? So if you had this massive company that were making changes, we brought back fucking funding for NASA that big, like big enough to where we can shoot shit to Mars, that big. We're looking for aliens in here, right? Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you have shareholders. Fortunately, you have to answer to those shareholders. You know how you got to answer? With profit. And if you don't, you go under. No more Mars, no more aliens, no more electric cars, no more innovation and improvement, no more competition. So it's easy to say, like, that's fucked up. But if you want to make change, if you want to live this good life, we have to have innovation. They have to run a company to do so. So we're in a fucking standstill. You know what I mean?
At what point is innovation just masturbation? Because I feel like we have the basics of what we would need for a boss society.
Yes. Correct. Yeah.
So,
At what point are you
slow
just doing
down
the
on
same
innovation.
Yeah. Like, what point are you doing the same shit every day?
Yeah, dude, it's like a musician with like a crazy output.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, I made fucking 300 songs this month. Each one of them new. Yeah, but, the last 100 kind of sound the same.
It's all garbage.
Yeah.
Focus on quality.
Maybe go to the gym or something.
Fuck, man. That's the truth. That's, yeah. And I think that we're kind of at that place, too. It's like when I was buying a camera, they were all these choices. And not only that, but this year they have all these fucking other ones coming out. Look at this fucking thing with a new light on it, right?
Picture in the ad, all these fucking other ones.
That's what it felt like,
Exclamation part.
And but in reality, we're, especially for like DSLRs, cinema cameras, stuff like that,
Right.
we're at a standstill as far as sensor goes. Not a whole lot has improved within the last 5 years. We're at a really good place for taking pictures and videos, right? Especially as consumers and not as professionals.
Right. Hobbyists.
Yeah. And people are like, they look for that new thing. Oh, shit, they got a new one coming out. In reality, it's just masturbate. Like, you know what I mean? It's just fucking doing the same shit, putting a new spin on it and making money. You're right.
Yeah.
We just focus on like what we have here and now, and let's go from here. You know what I mean? But no.
Yeah.
Here's another electric car. It looks like the last one. Same
So,
wheels.
I'm getting to the point where, like, on here, I'll talk shit and whatever, but I don't really have any real thought of changing the world.
Nuh-uh.
It's just a matter of what am I going to do about my life?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Again.
It's like, I would like the world to be better,
No.
but
Yeah, but what are the chances either way? Like, I don't know if I have it in me. You know what I mean? To do what it takes to change the world.
Adam doesn't know if he has it in himself to do what it takes to change the world.
Yeah, I don't know if I have it. I love to do things, and I love to create and do and be and work and build. But I don't think I have it in me to deal with, shareholders.
I don't hear you.
Oh, yeah, my fault. I don't have it in me.
He's been talking this whole
bad.
time. It's been like a minute.
I don't have it in me to like deal with shareholders and stuff. I love to create and
Maybe
do.
I don't hear him because he doesn't have his headphones on. Wait, why would that affect me?
But I love doing those things. I wish they would change the world. I wish I could, but I don't have the patience to deal with the massive amount of stress and people it would take to change the world.
Yes.
It's a good thought. And then people are like, well, I want to be famous. I want to be this and that, right? No, you don't. Half the people that say this shit do not. And the other half hate it when they get it because you have to deal with all this fucking dumb shit. You're an asset to a company now because whatever record label or production company or whatever, your agents and your fucking, fans, and people fucking hate it. Right? They get to it, they fucking hate it. You don't want to be famous stuff. Just make a little bit of money, enough to live and save and do and be, and fucking be happy, you dumb fucking son of a bitch. Not you. Just the world. But you get what I'm saying, though?
No, not you.
I'm
You
with
didn't
you.
do
I always get thought like, fuck, I got to do something just like that just sparks change and fucking all this. But do I have that in me? I'd like to think so, but I don't think so.
I feel like it just needs to be on an individual level.
Yeah.
Just inspire people to do for themselves.
Yeah, dude. But people right in front of you that you come into contact.
Then again, it's like, can you really inspire somebody to do that if they don't already want to do it?
Maybe they want to do it and they just haven't. They gotta
kinda-
get the.
Yeah, you gotta get the last one. But it's been kind of proven that no, you can't. You can improve their motivation within the moment, right? If you can create a certain atmosphere, you can do that. But in general, it does not change who they are. When a day, a week, a month passes, they go back to the same modes of thinking, the same rut, the same whatever. Generally, most time. Every now and then you'll get one that fucking just, goes off like a rocket, but not many, right? And it's been proven time and time again. That's why the motivational speaking market is so it's booming because people love to think they're doing something, But in reality, you're going to stay who you are.
So could we start like a "you ain't shit" market
Yes.
sure.
instead of motivational speaking?
For
It's just
sure.
Yes.
you sitting there on your high horse. You're not doing anything. Look at you.
Shit.
You haven't even touched the dishes in a week.
Just
What are you-
berate them.
You're just eating Spam and jam. That's all you do.
That's it.
Eee.
I know.
Like together?
Yeah.
Ooh,
You don't do your
Nasty.
dishes and you eat nasty shit.
Eating Spam jam.
Whatever. Nah, hang on. I want to talk about this game.
Ugh.
Dope.
All right. It's a computer game. It's not around anymore.
Okay.
But it's called Kanye Quest. Right? And it's like
Perfect.
it kind of looks like a Zelda style, like, you know, running around, like, not like top down, but like from an angle or whatever.
Uh-huh.
RPG style, and you go around and you collect your rap entourage. So you have your crew.
You got like Nate Dogg hanging out somewhere.
Yeah, like you would have Nate Dogg with you, like Jay-Z and shit like that, and you would go fight these clones of other rappers.
Yeah.
And within it, there are these like little computer stations to where you can like access things, and you can put in words and stuff and like passwords, and you get things and stuff. And if you type in, I think it's Ascension or Ascended, you open up this area of the game where you're now a butterfly, and you're in this like, I don't know, housing of corridors, we'll say. You're just in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are the terminals to where you would go and like do shit, like where you put in the Ascended or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And you have to put in other passwords. And there's also like a QR code, like where if you put it in, it takes you to a website that doesn't exist anymore. But it's after you put in the proper passwords, and it's like, congratulations, you have ascended. You can always ascend higher. If you whenever you get into the initial thing, you have to like click yes to continue, and you like consent to their terms of service and all this stuff. And after you ascend, and it's like, you can always ascend more. If you wish to take this into the real world, click yes to continue. And then you put in your name and your address, and they're like, we will interact with you and your belongings in a matter of weeks.
Rob 'em.
And essentially it was like it was a cult.
Oh shit!
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Kanye Quest.
So was the
God.
game designed to get you like zoned out enough, and at the end was like tricking you into giving your information?
Well, I mean, you really had to dig for it, because like it took a while, and there was like a subreddit going on about it.
Yeah.
But like most people, they were just playing the game,
Yeah.
because I mean, it is just it's like an RPG.
Yeah.
And you just play it, but if you go into this certain area of it,
Interesting.
shit gets real.
Damn.
Well, I want to play it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
When did it like end? Do you know?
I don't
I just
remember
wanna
dates.
know.
Just look up Kanye Quest.
I just
God
want to
damn.
know.
Got to now.
Yeah.
There's this YouTube channel, Nexpo, Nexpo.
Mm-hmm.
I went pretty deep over the last couple days. He just talks about crazy shit on the internet,
Yeah.
and it's always just like dark, weird shit.
Yeah, I feel like I've been there before. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, dude.
They I watched a couple of guys that do that. It's so like, you ever seen the thing on YouTube where you type in these certain like letters? It's not even like a title, and then it takes you to some dark corridor in YouTube. Like they've
No.
shut them down since,
That's
but they
creepy.
keep
Oh.
popping up. Like,
Okay.
and they're just weird, like weird videos.
No, I
That's
want every part of
awesome.
that.
Like anonymous people post them and shit. But it's just like, if you type in a certain symbol or a certain character or whatever, certain set of emojis,
Yeah.
like this shit
Yeah.
pops up, and it's like the dark side of YouTube.
Damn, that's cool. I did not know about
Huh.
that.
It's weird. That's what you're talking about. It kind of sounds like.
Dude.
Absolutely.
Did you say
does.
Nexpo?
Nexpo.
Nexpo.com or .org?
No, just go to YouTube.
Oh, I
It's
got
the
you.
user guy.
Oh,
He's cool. Yeah. There's a story like on what is that thing? Craigslist or whatever. This chick was living with family, and they were being dicks or whatever, and she was having money problems, and her and her boyfriend were doing the thing, and she was like, yeah, could you help out, $50, whatever. And her boyfriend or whatever was he would essentially pimp her out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to this park.
He laughed.
They went to this park to meet with this dude, and he was like, "Oh no, I just well, you are gonna be in the trunk." And then the guy was just like sitting in the car, and it had been a minute, and the guy got out, and then the dude that they met ended up cutting the dude's head off.
God damn.
Left his body in the park, and like took his head with him and took the chick. And then he had her like in his basement for like a few days.
Yeah.
And was just like torturing her and raping her and all that shit. And then eventually she died. But he had cameras in his basement and it filmed all of it.
Oh my
but
God.
the police department was like, yeah, we're never going to release it.
Yeah, no shit. Imagine if they
burn
did.
I know.
God. That'd be terrible.
Fucking burn it, bro. That's crazy shit.
Crazy.
That is-
That I was telling her the other day, like I look at all those NDEs and they all say that same thing, and then they come back and we're like, we decided who we wanted to be before we were ever put inside this body. Right. We decided, a lot of them say, I mean like a lot, probably like 80%, 90%, a lot, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, things like that, if we were all here and consciousness is this united thing, and is it that sociopaths and psychotics are a glitch in that system? Are there like it's a biological fuck up? It has nothing to do with what they decided. It has all to do with like nature and what genes were turned on and off. Is that the chaos within the system? Like, are these? It made me question, because I truly believe these NDEs. Like, that's more real than like Christianity or any religion I've ever heard. And then I think about, people like that and people who rape and murder, and they have no empathy at all. They're just like fucking killing people.
I just want to stab someone today.
Yeah.
What purpose does that have within our society? The raping and the killing and what purpose?
To not let people get comfortable.
Oh, stay in the
Chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Weird.
Plus, I mean, I could see where, like, with the idea of, if we get to, pick what we do or what we'll experience here on Earth, it's like you agreed to that before you were even in this body. It's like, I could see agreeing to some wild shit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that would imply that there is at least an extended period of time. And then after a while, you're going to get bored. And then you're also going to think, oh, well, in this greater scheme of going in and out of lives, why not do it for this one life?
I mean, if you...
And then you're like, yeah, let me be a serial killing rapist because, I'll just be a nun in the next life.
I imagine you would have to do everything eventually.
Yeah, I think it's what it comes down to is that they say that there's so much. I feel like there's so much love, and because they say it's like this overwhelming thing, like being in the womb, whatever, in this place. And we choose to come here to learn lessons, not for any other reason, but to learn through this life lessons. And through multiple other lives, more lessons, right? We're learning to be these higher beings, these united higher beings of one light, right?
Right.
And if that's the case, then the person that came in here and got killed and stuff like that, they chose that experience as well as the psychotic who chose to be that. So it kind of matched up. They both got to learn whatever lesson that was in life,
Well, like, who knows how it's posed to them? Perhaps it wasn't that you're going to be a psycho killer. It could be that you're going to experience...
No empathy.
I mean, great
Emotional
anguish.
withdrawal.
I mean, anything. It could be worded crazy. But...
Plus, I mean, you could just be drunk.
You could be drunk.
Like, you agree to plans a week later.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Wake up in a baby's body. But yeah, dude.
Yeah. That was it. Kanye
Dope,
Quest.
Kanye Quest. Look it up.
Thank you.
Put, your opinions and stuff like that are very appreciated. Put them in the comments. Like, share, subscribe for sure. If you made it this far, we appreciate it very much. If you watch the rest of them, we appreciate you even more because we have a lot of them out there. So go through there. If you haven't, check them out.
Yeah, go back to number 69.
Number 69. I'm Adam. That's Ian. That's Sarah.
Hello.
And we appreciate you. Love you very much. And hope that, everybody's doing fine. Good health.
Hey, good luck.
Episode 1 and 2. Wildly Uninteresting Podcast. Episode 122, 152, 152, 152.